I recently did a Nessus scan on my home network and was surprised to find that I had several devices that had really high vulnerability levels. All of these devices were IoT or Internet of Things. Now, the Internet of Things are just devices that connect to your Wi Fi and can communicate to the internet. These are Wi Fi speakers, smartwatches, TVs. It's anything that can connect to your network. Now, the issue with IoT devices is a lot of times the companies don't patch their vulnerabilities or they don't support them anymore. Now, the average person isn't going to have access to Nessus. That's like a corporate vulnerability scanner. I was lucky enough to be able to get a test sample for this for my schooling. So what this is showing me is that there's a device on my network that is susceptible to the Ripple 20. And it tells me what the IP address was. When I was doing this, I ended up looking up that on my network and figuring out what device it was and what I can do to fix this problem. But I want to show what it would look like from a threat actor's perspective. Now, this is my Kali Linux VM, and I'm going to show you, even though I know the IP address, I'm going to show you the scanning capability that this software has to be able to pull all the information somebody needs in order to attack a network. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an aggressive nmap of that specific address. That's not how somebody would do reconnaissance into your network. For time's sake, we're going to use what we know, so we're going to go after it. So by doing this, if somebody does it to your network, they can find all the different devices that are on your network. Doing this on the specific one gives us a lot of information. For one, this tells us that the host is up. It tells us open ports. Right down here is the worst part. It tells me that it's an HP, that it's a printer, and the model. So with this information, a threat actor can literally just Google that device and see if there's vulnerabilities. They can look it up in Metasploit within Kali, and they can perform an attack to get into your network through your printer, or in this case, my printer. Now for me, the first thing I would need to do is to look up to see if there's a patch. The issue that I have, and that the main point of this, my printer hasn't been supported since 2022. It is currently 2025. Now, just like how a company isn't going to go and replace their printers every few years, because that's a lot of money, they are going to protect the printers. The way that you protect them is to be able to isolate them from the outside world. They can still communicate within their network, but they cannot be communicated from outside the network. Now, just like how you aren't going to go spend a bunch of money on printers every couple of years, or, well, maybe you will. People do that with phones all the time. Why not? But not all of your IoT devices you're going to replace constantly. So how do you at home protect your network from being invaded from threat actors from the outside through your IoT devices? Now, here's the GUI of my ASUS network. Your average person isn't really going to know how to set up firewalls, set up VLANs. Not all companies are made the same. They won't have built-in IoT network protection. All providers have are parental controls. Usually in parental controls, you can set time limits on those devices. It's meant for limiting kids' access to the internet. But in this instance, you'll put 24-hour block on it so that the internet cannot communicate with those devices, and those devices cannot communicate out onto the internet, but you can still access them over your network. Now, to prove this point, I'm going to do the typical programmer thing to do and send a hello world print. My printer is on a parental control, so outside my network, no one can access it. But yet, when I hit print, I get my document. Now you might be asking, like, why does this matter? Am I going to get attacked anyway? Honestly, probably not. But we all remember getting those videos of people's baby monitors being hacked, people's Ring cameras being hacked, so on and so forth. Why not just protect yourself in case? This will take you 2 minutes to do, and you are preventing the likelihood of something that like this happening to you. There's also several examples of a lot of people being exploited through IoT vulnerabilities. This is a web page just dedicated to some of the worst ones to happen. With these easy steps and very little knowledge, you can feel like a cybersecurity pro too. keep your home network as protected as you can.